Did you know that after the age of 60, the risk of suffering from insomnia more than doubles? And worse, most elderly people who don't sleep well age faster, lose memory, become more irritable, and have a higher chance of developing serious diseases such as hypertension, diabetes, and even dementia. According to the National Sleep Foundation, more than 60% of people over the age of 65 have difficulty sleeping deeply, and many of them have already given up trying. Maybe you are experiencing this too. It takes a long time to fall asleep. You wake up several times during the night. You feel your body is tired, but your mind won't stop. And the next day, everything feels worse. No energy, no patience, no desire to do anything. But what many people still don't know is that there are simple, inexpensive, and natural vitamins that can help your body return to sleeping as before, without the need for strong medications or side effects. And that's exactly what you will learn today. The 7 most affordable vitamins that combat insomnia in old age, and how to use each of them to improve your sleep, your mind, and your well-being. If you are over 60, 70, or even 80 years old, know this: it is never too late to sleep well again. Vitamin 1, magnesium. Have you ever laid down with your body tired, but your mind racing, tossing and turning as if something were blocking your sleep, even with the room completely quiet? This feeling is very common among the elderly, and one of the biggest culprits for this silent blockage may be magnesium deficiency, an essential vitamin that the body needs to shut down. Magnesium is involved in more than 300 functions in the body, but one of the most important in old age is its effect on the nervous system. It acts directly on muscle relaxation, the regulation of heartbeats, and especially on the production of melatonin, the hormone that tells the body it's time to sleep. The World Health Organization estimates that more than half of the elderly population worldwide has low levels of magnesium, especially due to poor intestinal absorption, continuous use of medications, and a diet low in fresh vegetables. What happens with this deficiency? The body remains on alert. Muscles do not relax completely. The mind stays agitated. And even when the elderly person falls asleep, the sleep is light, fragmented, as if they never truly get to rest. Donna Lourdes, 74 years old, knew this reality very well. For years, she drank chamomile tea, dimmed the lights in the house, avoided coffee at night, but nothing worked. She would wake up 3-4 times a night, and throughout the day, she lived feeling drowsy, without energy, forgetting simple things. It was only when she saw a nutritionist and discovered that she had a magnesium deficiency that everything changed. She began to include magnesium-rich foods at dinner, such as avocado, chickpeas, pumpkin seeds, and sautéed spinach. And under medical guidance, she started taking a capsule of magnesium glycinate about 40 minutes before bed. In less than 2 weeks, her sleep became deeper. The nighttime trips to the bathroom decreased, her body felt lighter in the morning, and her mood, once irritated by sleep deprivation, stabilized. For the first time in years, she felt she was truly resting. Studies published in the Journal of Research in Medical Sciences confirmed what Donna Lourdes experienced in practice. Elderly people who supplement with magnesium show significant improvement in sleep efficiency, duration, and a reduction in chronic insomnia. And the best part, you don't have to start with capsules. Besides the foods mentioned, magnesium is also present in oats, bananas, black beans, almonds, and tofu. But in many cases with advanced age, supplementation may be necessary, especially in the form of magnesium glycinate or magnesium L-threonate, 2 versions that have better absorption and a faster calming effect. The most important thing to understand is, if your body is tired but sleep doesn't come, it might not be anxiety. It might be a lack of magnesium. Vitamin 2, tryptophan. Few people know, but there is a natural substance that the body uses to produce serotonin and melatonin, the 2 main regulators of sleep and mood. Its name is tryptophan, and it may be the key to sleeping deeply, especially in old age. Tryptophan is an essential amino acid. This means that the body cannot produce it on its own. It relies exclusively on diet. And when there is a deficiency, the signs appear quickly: irritability, insomnia, mental restlessness, and fragmented sleep. This amino acid is responsible for stimulating the production of serotonin, which helps relax the mind, and melatonin, which regulates the sleep cycle. Without it, the brain does not understand that it is time to rest. Donna Selena, 81 years old, had been suffering from increasingly difficult nights. She said she felt her body sinking into the bed, but her mind wouldn't shut off. She started taking sleeping medications, but would wake up groggy, with a dry mouth, and even more forgetful. It was a nutritionist who pointed out the deficiency. Her diet lacked tryptophan. Selena began to have a more strategic dinner: a small chickpea salad with olive oil and parsley, and 2 slices of fresh Minas cheese. Sometimes she would complement it with a glass of homemade kefir, another natural source of tryptophan and probiotics, a perfect combination for the gut and the brain. In just over 10 days, the difference was noticeable. She fell asleep more easily, felt less agitation, and best of all, woke up more lucid, with a sharper memory. Science supports this effect. A study published in the Journal of Psychiatric Research showed that elderly people with insomnia who increased their evening intake of tryptophan improved their sleep duration by up to 48 minutes per night, with a reduction in sleep onset latency. You can find tryptophan in common and accessible foods such as chickpeas, Minas cheese, kefir, cooked chicken breast, pumpkin seeds, tofu, unsalted roasted peanuts, and it's worth remembering, for tryptophan to act more effectively, it needs to be accompanied by a small source of natural carbohydrate, such as a piece of roasted pumpkin, a sweet potato, or even a handful of raisins. Therefore, if your sleep is light, broken, and restless, maybe your brain just needs more tryptophan to get back on track. Vitamin 3, B complex. Have you ever felt physically tired but mentally hyperactive? Have you spent sleepless nights as if sleep was within reach, but simply wouldn't come? It could be that your nervous system is asking for B complex vitamins. The B complex is made up of a group of vitamins that work together in the brain and nervous system. Among them, the most important for sleep in old age are B6, B9, and B12. These vitamins act in the production of serotonin, dopamine, and GABA, neurotransmitters that relax the body, calm the mind, and induce deep sleep. Without them, a person remains in a constant state of alertness. Even when exhausted, the mind doesn't shut down. The body doesn't relax. Sleep becomes light, interrupted, and memory begins to fail. And worse, many older people are deficient precisely in these vitamins, whether due to poor diet, use of medications like omeprazole, or difficulty absorbing nutrients in the intestines. Mr. Agostinho, 85 years old, lived through this torment. He slept poorly, woke up with a heavy head, forgot simple things, and felt a fatigue that left him discouraged. The family thought it was just aging, but a functional nutritionist identified the real cause. He was deficient in B complex vitamins. With guidance, he started eating more wisely, including brown rice with black beans for lunch, sautéed collard greens, a boiled egg, and a small piece of grilled liver for dinner, and a bit of brewer's yeast mixed into fresh orange juice. He also started using a simple, full B complex supplement, the kind sold at any popular pharmacy. The result? 2 weeks later, he was already sleeping better, waking up more energized, and even his lucidity began to return. The difference in his gaze, mood, and mental clarity was visible. A study published in the International Journal of Tryptophan Research demonstrated that elderly individuals deficient in B6, B9, and B12 showed more insomnia, mental fatigue, and shallow sleep. After proper supplementation, deep sleep occurred more frequently, and cognitive function improved. You can find the main B complex vitamins in simple foods like liver, eggs, collard greens, spinach, broccoli, black beans, brown rice, brewer's yeast, oats. And when diet alone isn't enough, a B-complex supplement is an effective, affordable, and easy-to-find option, always with professional guidance. If you feel that your sleep is weak, your mind is failing, and your body doesn't relax like it used to, maybe you're not sick, maybe you're just missing the fuel your brain needs to shut down, and that fuel is in the B-complex. Number 4, vitamin D. Have you ever woken up tired, even after sleeping for several hours? Or felt that your body was sluggish, your mind cloudy, and your sleep was never deep enough? This could be directly related to a lack of vitamin D, one of the most common and dangerous deficiencies in old age. This vitamin is not just for bones. It is essential for brain function, the immune system, and especially for sleep regulation. It plays a role in regulating the circadian cycle, the biological clock that tells the body when it's time to sleep and when it's time to wake up. Without enough vitamin D, this clock gets out of sync and sleep quality declines. What many people don't know is that, as the years go by, the skin loses its ability to produce vitamin D efficiently. And since many elderly people spend the whole day indoors, the body stops receiving the sunlight it needs to manufacture this vitamin. Donna Marlene, 78 years old, suffered from this. She would wake up every day at 3 in the morning without any reason. It seemed like her body had a broken internal alarm clock. She had already tried teas, new pillows, medications, until she discovered very low levels of vitamin D in her blood test. The guidance was clear: get sunlight every day between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m., preferably between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m., for at least 20 minutes, with arms and legs exposed, without sunscreen during this short period. In addition, she started consuming affordable foods rich in vitamin D, such as boiled eggs, sautéed chicken liver, grilled sardines, sautéed mushrooms, and in some cases the doctor may recommend vitamin D3 supplementation, especially simple, low-cost capsules. In 3 weeks, Marlene's sleep changed. She began sleeping through the night without waking up. She woke up feeling lighter, with a balanced mood and better memory function. A study published in the Journal of Sleep Research confirmed this effect. Elderly individuals with normal vitamin D levels have longer deep sleep duration, shorter time to fall asleep, and fewer nighttime awakenings. If you feel that you sleep but don't rest, if you wake up tired, irritable, or with a heavy mind, it could be that your body is begging for light and for vitamin D. Vitamin 5, zinc. Few people talk about it, but zinc is one of the most important vitamins, or rather minerals, for regulating deep sleep, especially in old age. It acts directly on melatonin regulation, helps balance the nervous system, and also strengthens immunity, which, when low, contributes to poor sleep. The problem is that with age, the body becomes less efficient at absorbing zinc. Moreover, many elderly individuals have a diet low in natural foods and end up developing silent deficiencies that harm sleep, mood, and even concentration. Mr. Ernesto, 89 years old, was going through this. He slept poorly, had memory lapses, and always felt anxious, as if something was wrong. During a consultation with an experienced physician, tests showed that he had low zinc levels. The guidance was simple and affordable. Ernesto started including in his dinner foods rich in zinc, like cooked lentils with garlic and onion, pieces of roasted pumpkin with skin, and a spoonful of unsalted sunflower seeds. He also took, under medical recommendation, a light zinc supplement on alternate days for just 1 month. In a short time, his body responded. Ernesto began sleeping more easily, waking up less during the night, and even his mental clarity, which had been fading, returned. And science confirms this impact. A study published in the Biological Trace Element Research Journal showed that adults with adequate blood zinc levels have greater sleep efficiency, fewer nighttime awakenings, and a lower incidence of insomnia. Additionally, zinc helps reduce cortisol, the stress hormone, which hinders relaxation at bedtime. You can find zinc in affordable and accessible foods such as lentils, beans, roasted pumpkin with skin, sunflower seeds, unsalted roasted peanuts, sautéed collard greens, boiled eggs, and when necessary, low-dose zinc supplementation may be recommended by a professional, especially for elderly individuals with weak immunity, constant stress, or very shallow sleep. If you have been feeling exhausted, anxious, and having difficulty falling asleep, it could be that your body just needs a little more zinc to regain balance. Number 6, vitamin E. Have you ever woken up with a mild headache, blurred vision, and that heavy feeling in your body even after sleeping? It may not just be accumulated fatigue. It could be silent inflammation affecting your brain and your sleep. Vitamin E is one of the most powerful antioxidants that exist. It protects the brain against oxidative stress, improves cerebral circulation, and plays an important role in regulating melatonin, the natural sleep hormone. And the most interesting part, studies show that vitamin E deficiency in the elderly is associated with sleep fragmentation, difficulty reaching deep sleep stages, and increased inflammation in the nervous system. Dona Olga, 84 years old, lived through this cycle. She slept but didn't rest. She woke up tired, with a heavy head and an increasingly weaker memory. After speaking with a nutritionist, she discovered that she had very low levels of vitamin E, something common in elderly individuals, with diets poor in nuts and raw vegetables. The solution came through her diet. She started consuming a spoonful of sunflower seeds every day, used cold-pressed soybean oil to prepare vegetables, and ate avocado with lemon for breakfast. At night, she included grated carrots with olive oil, a practical and affordable way to boost vitamin absorption. Within 2 weeks, she already noticed changes. Sleep became deeper, awakenings decreased, and mental fatigue began to give way to clarity. Her daughter said, "It's like you've gone back to sleeping with quality." A study published in the Journal of Clinical Sleep Medicine confirmed that elderly individuals with adequate vitamin E levels showed improvement in sleep architecture and a reduction in inflammatory markers that affect nighttime melatonin production. You can find vitamin E in simple foods like avocado, sunflower seeds, cold-pressed soybean oil or corn oil, olive oil, unsalted peanuts, raw carrots, sautéed spinach, and the best part, it is easy to include in your daily routine without high costs and without the need for supplements, as long as the diet is balanced. If your body is sleeping but not resting, it may be lacking internal protection against inflammation, and that protection could be in vitamin E. Number 7, melatonin. Although technically melatonin is not a vitamin, but a natural hormone produced by our brain, it could not be left off this list. Because when it comes to sleep in old age, melatonin is simply the central axis that commands the entire process. It is produced by the pineal gland, a small structure inside the brain, and is responsible for signaling to the body that it's time to sleep. But what most people don't know is that as the years go by, natural melatonin production plummets. And this causes the body to lose track of biological time, when to sleep, when to wake up, and when to enter the deep stages of sleep. Dona Irene, 91 years old, felt this every day. She said that her sleep timing had broken. She would go to bed at 10 p.m. and already be wide awake by 2 a.m., as if she had only taken a short nap. Even tired, her body wouldn't cooperate. The neurologist was straightforward. The problem wasn't psychological. It was a lack of natural melatonin. Dona Irene started taking 0.3 milligrams of melatonin per night under professional prescription, a small and safe dose, sufficient for sensitive elderly individuals. In addition, she adopted 3 simple habits that stimulate the natural production of the hormone. Avoiding strong light at home at night, especially white or blue light, from cell phones, TV, or cool-toned lamps. Getting sunlight between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. daily for 15 to 20 minutes. Sleeping in total darkness, without night lights, television, or hallway lights. The result was surprising. After years of fragmented sleep, Dona Irene returned to sleeping 6 to 7 hours straight. And she said, "It's not just sleeping, it's waking up feeling like my body really rested." And science confirms this. A study published in the Journal of Pineal Research revealed that elderly individuals with sleep disorders who supplemented with small doses of melatonin experienced significant improvements in sleep duration, depth, and quality, as well as improvements in mood and cognitive function. Melatonin is also present in small amounts in foods such as fresh or dried cherries, walnuts, tomatoes, corn, purple grapes, oats. But in the elderly, low-dose supplementation may be necessary, always with professional guidance, because excess can cause the opposite effect. If your sleep is out of rhythm, with broken hours and endless nights, maybe all you're missing is a simple adjustment to your biological clock. And that adjustment can start with melatonin. Conclusion, we've reached the end of this incredible video. If you made it this far and enjoyed what you learned, write in the comments, "Sleeping well is my right," and rate this content from 0 to 10. Insomnia doesn't have to be part of aging. With simple choices like the 7 vitamins you saw today, it's possible to sleep better, wake up with more energy, and live with more clarity and balance. Remember, sleep is one of the greatest medicines the body has ever known. And many times, what's missing isn't willpower, it's nutrition. See you in the next video. May God bless you.